Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Huck. Today I am doing a Top 5 Wednesday topic. Top 5 Wednesday is a Goodreads group that I will link down below where there is a topic for every Wednesday and you get to choose your top 5 bookish things for that topic. So as I said, I will link the Goodreads group down below if you would like to check it out. And today's topic is children's books to read as an adult. The first book that I have for this topic is The Two Princesses of Bamar by Gail Carson Levine. Gail Carson Levine is actually better known for writing Ella Enchanted, but this is the book by her that I loved the best. It follows two sisters, one of whom is very shy and the other is very bold. They are living in a magical world where there is a plague that is going around. One of the sisters gets the plague and the other is forced to go find the cure for her. This story I really loved. It has adventure and it has a lot of character growth. The sister that is forced to go on an adventure to find the cure for her sister is forced to really step outside of her box to learn more about herself, grow as a person, and discover that she is more than she thought she was, that she is able to do more and be more than she originally thought. I remember really loving this book as a child. I really liked seeing that character grow as a person in this fantasy world, and I definitely would recommend this one as a children's book to read as an adult. Next, I have The Forest Wife by Teresa Tomlinson. This is one that I read as a child and loved, but I actually recently reread it as an adult and still really enjoyed it. My only complaint with this one is that I wish that it had been longer. It's fairly short because it is a children's book, but I wish it had been a little more fleshed out. But I really love the characters. I love the storyline. This is kind of a Robin Hood story, except it follows Maid Marian as she goes into the forest and becomes what is called the Forest Wife, who is someone who lives in the forest and provides support and healing for the people of the forest who cannot afford other means of healing and help. As I said, as a child, I loved this book and it fueled many games for me, but even as an adult, I really loved the setting. I love Robin Hood stories, so I may be a little biased. As an adult rereading this, I really enjoyed it. I love the setting of the forest. I love seeing the main character of Maid Marian learn more about the people of the forest and about ways of healing and how this works and how the Forest Wife, because the Forest Wife is like a mantle that is passed down through generations, and learning more about how the Forest Wife functions in this society that they have created in the forest. Maid Marian in this story is pretty spunky and she learns a lot, which I really loved. I love watching people learn about like herb lore. So if you like that kind of thing, like learning herb lore, living in the forest, those kinds of settings, then I would definitely suggest reading this one. The next one that I have is actually a series, which is The Enchanted Forest Chronicles by Patricia Reed. So the first one is Dealing with Dragons. Second is Searching for Dragons. Then Calling on Dragons and Talking to Dragons. So if you can't tell, these books are about dragons. It actually follows a girl named Cimarine who is a princess. She does not want to be a princess, and so she runs away and finds dragons. And then she kind of becomes like a friend to the dragons and kind of a servant to them. But the dragons in this are really interesting. They have their own society and their own politics. The dragons can speak in this series. She makes some friends and they're all very interesting characters. The dragons all have very distinct personalities, but this one is really great. I think the dragons are really fun and well done, but it has been a while since I've read this one, so I can't speak from experience of reading it as an adult, but I can imagine that it would still be wonderful to read as an adult. The next one that I have, again, is another series, but this is actually one that straddles like middle grade to YA, which is the Immortals series by Tamara Pierce. So really, I would recommend pretty much anything by Tamara Pierce. She is just great. I loved her books as a kid and they still are really great as an adult. This is actually the third series that she wrote in this world of Tortal, which is a magical world with mages, but it is probably my favorite of the series that I've read so far. I've read all of her series except for the newest one that just came out, that just started, which the first book is Tempest and Slaughter. So the first series that she has is the Lioness Quartet, which starts with Alana, the First Adventure. The second one is In the Hand of the Goddess. The third is Lioness Rampant, and then the fourth is Woman Who Rides Like a Man. So this is actually probably the best place to start with Tamara Pierce's books, but I don't think that it's her strongest series. In this, Alana is pretty kick-ass and is really great. She is someone who's going to, I think, be sent off to a convent, and she doesn't want to do that. Or maybe it was like some magic school thing. I don't know. She doesn't want to do it and she wants to become a knight, but where she lives there are no female knights. So she dresses up as a boy and goes to school and has to hide her identity and pretend that she is a boy so that she can learn to be a knight. So she is a pretty cool character and I really enjoy this series, but this is not my favorite of Tamara Pierce's series. My favorite was always the Immortals by Tamara Pierce, because in this one we follow the character Dane, who has a different kind of magic where she can speak to animals and can shapeshift into animals. So I really love that. I also think that as Tamara Pierce's stories go on, her writing gets stronger. I think that she always was a very enjoyable writer to read, but I think that her storylines and characters do get stronger as she goes. So the first book in this series is Wild Magic. Then we have Wolf Speaker and Emperor Mage, and then we have The Realm of the Gods. And this is a really cool cover. I really love this cover. And as you can tell, this series also has dragons in it. This is a series that I would definitely recommend to read. And finally, I have a trilogy, which is the Doran Trilogy by Monica Furlong. The first book is Wise Child, the second is Juniper, and the third is Coleman. Juniper is actually a prequel that takes place before Wise Child, but I would still suggest to read them in publication order. This is a series that I read as a child and I liked it, but I actually liked it more as an adult. I recently reread this and really loved it. It takes place, I think, in Cornwall, right around the time when Christianity was coming in, and so there's a conflict between the new religion of Christianity and the old religion that has more mystical, like magical elements to it. It follows a girl who is called Wise Child. She is left alone in her village and she has to find someone to kind of take her in, but no one is willing to take her in except for this woman Juniper, who everyone says is a witch and she lives outside of town. So Wise Child very apprehensively goes to live with Juniper and starts to learn things like herb lore and different kinds of hearth magic that she can use. In this series, I think that Juniper was my favorite. This is actually the backstory to Juniper, who's the one that takes in Wise Child. Wise Child was probably my second favorite book, and then Coleman was definitely the weakest of the trilogy, but still worth reading if you enjoyed the rest of the series. So as I said, this is one that I have recently reread, so I can tell you from an adult perspective, or at least sort of an adult, I don't know, that these are very enjoyable and I really love them, so I would highly recommend reading the Doran Trilogy. So that is all for my top 5 children's books to read as an adult. If you have any suggestions for children's books to read, please let me know down in the comments below. Thank you all for watching, and until next time, bye!